Snorlax, the sleeping Pokémon. Welcome everyone, I'm exceptional and I hope you are too. Today, we will be seeing how quickly I can defeat Pokémon FireRed, including the Round 2 Elite Four, using only my starter. Challenge rules are in the description. Snorlax is a monster, with a base stat total of 540 with a chunky 160 in hit points. Back that up with an impressive 110 in attack and special defense, we're gonna be something to contend with. The biggest downfall, of course, is gonna be our speed at only base 30. I choose the nickname Baymax from Big Hero 6 because I just needed a little bit of fa-la-la-la-la-la in my life. I struggled a little bit with the egg move choice because you all know how much I love my setup moves. Curse was calling to me, and since our speed is so abysmal anyway, I didn't think it would hurt, but we learned Belly Drum at level 13. I had a lot of success with Belly Drum on Charizard, so I thought that was all I was gonna need, choosing Double Edge as my egg move. I figured with Snorlax's base HP we could deal with a little bit of recoil, and having a stab or same type attack bonus move that hits that hard this early is gonna be real helpful. Unfortunately, the first gate in this game is the rock-hard leader Brock, who resists our normal type moves. I didn't know if we'd need level 13 to learn Belly Drum or not, but I did figure we'd need some grinding. Stab Double Edge steamrolls rival 1.5, even though we start the battle only at level 5 still. Leveling up is going to be a little bit tricky as we are part of the slow level up group. Also, the ability that I chose was Immunity, which makes us immune to poison. Any long-term viewers of the channel know that Poison and I have a very bad relationship. I did clear out the entirety of Viridian Forest, leveling us up to 10 in preparation for our first gym leader, Brock. I lead off the battle with a Defense Curl, matching Geodude's Defense Curl. I decided to toss in one Defense Curl because I figured that this was going to be a long battle. Having that little bit of extra defense is definitely going to help us, especially with the added recoil damage that we're taking every turn. I decided to throw in a Tackle, and yeah, I'm going to go with Double Edge. We may take damage in return, but at least it was getting stuff done. I eventually wear down Geodude, but we're at about half health for Onix coming out. Usually the biggest threat from Onix is his Stab Rock Tomb, but today I feel it's gonna be Bind. The last thing that Baymax needs is even more damage every turn. We end up taking Onix down to Red Bar, but he does take us out. I feel that if Geodude was just slightly more cooperative, we would have this one in the bag. Which he does this time, only going for tackles and not a single defense curl, allowing us to 3-shot. The icing on the cake against Onix is that he misses his first tackle. You can see though just how much damage that bind is doing every single turn. This battle is going to be down to the wire again. We're down to 6 hit points after our recoil damage. We're definitely now in knockout range of Rock Tomb, and Onix misses! And Baymax connects, ending the battle. That was a close one. Note to self, test Brock before the next playthrough. As a slow growth rate Pokemon, I do a touch of additional training throughout Mount Moon, making sure that I'm level 15 at the exit, where I'm of course grabbing the Helix fossil. Snorlax is blue enough for me, let's go for Lord Helix today. Gosh, I'm fickle. On the other side of the cave, I'm making sure to teach Mega Punch. It's a little bit less accurate, but definitely more powerful than Tackle and doesn't have recoil damage. I didn't figure that we needed Mega Kick because of the awesome power that we have in the 100% accurate Double Edge. Upon arriving in Cerulean, my first target is our second gym leader, Misty. I figured that now was as good a time as any to use my shiny new move, Belly Drum. Well, it was new at level 13, but I have not used it yet. Belly Drum sacrifices half of your maximum HP in order to maximize your attack stat. As you can see though, Staryu seems to be feisty today, not going for the usual Harden and going for 2 Water Pulses. They aren't doing much damage, but that's a lot of damage to be heading into Starmie with. Oh, and the Persim Berry is gone. Starmie's speed stat in this battle triples ours, so of course Starmie moves first, hitting a Stab Water Pulse for reset number 2. Alright, things I did wrong. Did I need the Belly Drum? Well, maybe not actually, as Mega Punch 2 shots and we're at 65 health instead of 15 coming into Starmie. Starmie's Water Pulse deals 20 damage and Baymax responds with a Stab critical Double Edge for the 1-shot, dealing more damage to ourselves in recoil. Recoil hurts, but 1-shots are nice. Rival 2 is going to be next on the list, and let's see how this one goes. Pidgeotto hits us with a quick attack, and Baymax responds with a stab double edge for the one-shot. I'm actually going to be switching to Mega Punch for both Rattata and Abra just to save on a little bit of that recoil damage. Ooh, never mind, we level up to 17 learning Headbutt, which is going to be doing less damage, but with 100% accuracy. Double edge then one-shots Bulbasaur, and this battle is over. Another unfortunate bit of the recoil move is that it is taking up a slot of PP management. As you can see at the end of the next route, I am completely out of headbutts and I have been using double edges. This resulted in me being completely out of healing items, and that kind of leads to a reset against this random rocket in the backyard. I was thinking that Water Pulse would be dealing too little damage and Drowsy would take us out, so I go for the double edge and the recoil knocks us out. Aw man, the last time I saved was just before Rival 2, so I'm just gonna take the blackout. The things I learn in the first runs. After that little hiccup though, Baymax's slaughter with double edge continues and Rival 3 is no issue. Let's talk about our next gym leader, Lieutenant Surge. Yeah, first off, in Run 2, I'm definitely going to be spending more cash on healing items. I can't start the battle at full health because I didn't want to burn my Hyper Potion and I didn't have any other healing items. Oh well, Stab Headbutt for Voltorb, Stab Headbutt for Pikachu, no issues there. It's always the Raichu that's concerning. Raichu paralyzes us with Thunder Wave, our berry cures the status, and we hit through with Stab Double Edge for the one-shot. Who needs healing items, eh? On the other side of Rock Tunnel, definitely one of these staple moves of FireRed and Leaf Green is Return, especially for a normal Pokemon. Once our friendship is maxed, including Stab, it will be dealing 153 effective power. How could you not? A big error that I feel I made in this first run is that I just kind of played Snorlax wrong. My nature is impish, increasing defense and reducing special attack. I figured with physical setup I wouldn't need any special moves, and our defense needed a little bit of reinforcing considering how slow we are. With the power of hindsight, having more special coverage throughout the mid-game would have been great, as you can see against Giovanni. I've already replaced Water Pulse with Brick Break, and it cannot one-shot his rock types. Don't worry, I'm gonna realize the importance of water coverage soon enough. Beyond that though, Baymax continues to absolutely steamroll the game. I'm ready once again to challenge a gym leader, Erica. The perpetual price paid for pesky recoil pushes me to present another battle where we do not start at full health. Really though, Baymax not at full health is still more health than most Pokemon. We're currently only 2 levels higher than Victory Bell, and Stab Double Edge is still one-shotting. Worried as always about recoil, I switch to Headbutt against Tangela for the 2-shot. Vileplume is more defensive and manages to survive a double edge, also paralyzing us. Our berry saves us from the status, and I switch to Headbutts while Erica heals. Despite our abysmal speed, we are moving first, and one final headbutt ends the battle. If there's one thing that Snorlax is real good at, it's sitting there being a wall. The next stop is Pokemon Tower and Rival 4. I'm getting pretty skinny on PP right now, going for Headbutt against Pidgeotto, and it's still one-shots. With the critical, but shh, don't tell my ego that. That's pretty much the theme of the battle though, once again dealing more damage to ourselves than the rival did. At the end of the battle, we level up to 33, learning Body Slam. Body Slam is kind of like Mega Punch, but with 100% accuracy and a 30% chance to paralyze. What I'm trying to say is Body Slam rocks. I then realize that I have no moves to hit Ghost with, so I pop off to Saffron to visit Mr. Psychic. One thing for certain with Snorlax is that as a Generation 1 normal type, it has a ridiculous move pool. By ridiculous, of course, I mean ridiculously deep in that this giant teddy bear can somehow use Blizzard, Thunder, Fire Blast, Psychic powers. What is this moveset? Don't get me wrong, I love the coverage, but just how many elements does this teddy bear control? In Silph Co, I'm definitely grabbing every single item because I am convinced that we need our EVs dialed in as much as possible. As is tradition, while we're here, I'm definitely going to see how Rival 5 feels. This battle definitely feels like his greatest power spike in the game. While he's still the rival anyway. I decided not to belly drum this time, just feeling the battle out, and Body Slam is doing over half to Pidgeot, 2-shotting. Gyarados is next, intimidating us, but it doesn't matter because we crit with Body Slam for a one-shot. As a physical attacker, I did choose the Bulbasaur team because Growlithe now hits the field for the second Intimidate. This is when I got scared going for that belly drum, which was so foolish. I put myself at 2 hit points. Growlithe outspeeds and literally takes us down. Based on how the battle felt and that Gyarados critical, I'm in the department store buying vitamins. I did not feel ready for that one. I buy 2 proteins because we'll be getting 1 more in Fuchsia, 2 carbos, just trying to eke out as much speed as I possibly can, and I dump all the rest of my money into iron. I really felt that our defense was going to make or break this run. Next in the Safari Zone, I am 100% picking up that Quick Claw. It gives a 20% chance to move first in our priority bracket, and as a super slow Pokemon, we might just want that. I grabbed that last protein that I needed, and HM3 Surf, which is going to be making an appearance soon. I told you I would recognize the importance of water coverage. While we're in Fuchsia, we're definitely going to challenge the 5th gym leader, Koga. Once again, trying to feel things out, I go for Body Slam, and we do not get the one-shot. Coughing responds with a smokescreen, and actually, I'm just gonna reset right now. I switched to those high-risk, high-reward strategies, going for Belly Drum and then unleashing a bunch of Body Slams, which of course missed because I took another smokescreen, but they eventually connect, bringing down his lead. I do not want to give Muck the ability to set up, which he does as we miss a couple of turns, but once we connect, he also falls. The power of +6 stab Body Slam carries us through to his ace. We're getting pretty skinny on health, but Wheezing Sludge does not knock us out as we connect one final time, ending the battle. Alright, not great, but not bad. Because our giant teddy bear is fairly buoyant, I teach Surf, surfing down to Cinnabar Island next. We didn't gain many levels on our adventures in Fuchsia, so I decided to head to Cinnabar for a little bit of extra training before Rival 5 again. With Surf on our side and a definite lack of speed and experience as a slow growth rate Pokemon, I decide to clear all of the trainers in Blaine's gym. Speaking of Blaine, while we're in the area, let's check him out. Snorlax did have 2 options for our ability. Immunity, which I chose, or Thick Fat, which would reduce the damage of fire and ice moves by half. I felt being immune to poison would be more helpful more often, but Thick Fat would have made this one easier. We will be taking 2 Intimidates again in this battle, and after the first one, our Body Slam does still one-shot Growlithe, but does not one-shot Ponyta. We're approaching his more powerful Pokemon, and we're already at half health. Rapidash shuts us down. Tail tucked firmly between my legs, I decided to do a little bit of grinding. Speaking of targeting EVs, I decided to go after more attack and defense. If you want a bunch of those, there's no place better than Cycling Road, clearing out the entire path. I then clear out the Fighting Dojo, and while we're here, let's try Rival 5 again. He does end up getting me a couple of times as I feel out the battle, but we are definitely doing a lot better with the extra levels. If we end up sleeping for too many turns though, things go south pretty quickly. If by some miracle I end up only sleeping for 2 turns though, this battle is over. Sweet, that wasn't too terrible. And I have to take a moment to just once again appreciate immunity as a physical attacker against Giovanni. So much poison point. Also, yes, that is Surf back on the moveset, overriding Brick Break, because I can always get more Brick Break. Completing this unlocks another gym leader that we can challenge, Sabrina. Against Sabrina, I always talk about how fast physical attackers never have problems here. Well, what about slow physical attackers? Or, more accurately for Baymax here, slow physical attackers with huge HP and special defense stats. Yeah, Sabrina is no problem. We can defeat Sabrina handily, and in the middle of the battle we level up to 49 trying to learn Rollout. I did heavily consider going with Defense Curl and Rollout strategies with Snorlax because they can be really effective. I felt in this first playthrough anyway that our natural bulk and belly drum would be all that we needed, but we'll see about that. Even Sabrina's mighty Alakazam can't really breach our special defenses, so after defeating her, I'm actually going to be jumping straight back into Blaine. The extra levels that we've acquired definitely give us an easier time here, now able to one-shot Growlithe and Ponyta with Body Slam alone. I never made it past Rapidash before, and even at -1 attack, our Stab Double Edge one-shots. Okay, 1 left to go. Arcanine hits the field, intimidating us a second time. That special defense stat though, even Arcanine's Fire Blasts aren't doing huge amounts of damage. Double Edge looks to be doing half still, so I go for a second one, and oh my gosh. We take out Arcanine and the recoil knocks us to 5 hit points. Oh, it's okay, Heart, you can handle this. That was another razor-thin victory, but a victory it was. With a round 2 finish in mind, immediately after defeating Blaine, I helped Celio and Bill in the Sevi Islands. It's nice to not have to backtrack to this, and what the heck, more experience is more experience. The next challenge to overcome is the 8th and final gym leader, Giovanni. The first battle is once again just kind of feeling things out, but it's no surprise that 4x super effective Surf deals with both of the Rhyhorns. Against Nidoqueen I go for Body Slam, dropping her into Red Bar, but then she responds with a Stab Earthquake. Lesson learned there, I switch to Double Edge as Giovanni heals and we get the one-shot this time. The Queen's King comes out next, and let them eat Double Edge. That's getting pretty close to the limit of punishment that Baymax can take, switching to Body Slam for Dugtrio because he has like no defense, and then one final Surf finishes Rhyhorn. We finish another gym leader in Red Bar, but hey, I got what I needed out of this one. We claim the 8th badge, finishing the gym challenge at just over an hour and 3 minutes. Against Rival 6, I end up taking a little bit too much damage in the early parts of the fight, and Alakazam ends up taking us out. In the next attempt, I don't go for Belly Drum, and I get so close, but then I make an Egghead move. For whatever reason, on the last turn of battle, I moved away from Double Edge, going for Body Slam, leaving Venusaur with a sliver and getting taken out by a +1 Stab Razor Leaf. Oh, and definitely Overgrow boosted. Yeah, there was a lot of damage there. In the next attempt, I did go for Belly Drum again, but I did it earlier in the battle, leading to success. With the defeat of Rival 6, we are now ready to enter the Round 1 Pokemon League. Kicking off against Lorelei, I want to see how much damage Double Edge is doing on its own. We bring Dugong down to Red Bar, but that is not quite enough damage. Not wanting to go through the rest of the battle with that big chunk of recoil already, I reset. This time I end up leading off with Belly Drum while Dugong goes for Hail, which is pretty terrible actually. That's going to be more damage every turn, and though we take out Dugong, we're at under a third for the rest of the battle. Cloyster and Slowbro both fall victim to our +6 stab body slams, but Lapras comes out, outspeeding and ending the battle. And things didn't really get much better, so I left a train coming back into the battle now at level 60. 5 levels higher. I'm gonna try and get through the battle without the use of Belly Drum again. Pretty much everything as we move through the battle is a 2-shot, and then we hit Slowbro, who uses Yawn on us. Slowbro is one of the less threatening opponents, so I decided to switch to Surf to try and stall out that incoming sleep. The stall seems to have worked, and I take out Slowbro with a little under a third of our health remaining. I did not see us surviving 2 turns against Lapras, so I go for the Double Edge, knocking her out, but also knocking ourselves out. After more resets, I left the league again, deleting Surf off of our moveset with the Move Deleter and teaching Brick Break. It honestly didn't really make a huge difference in this battle, but at level 60 using the Belly Drum strategies, apparently you can just barely make it by. Lapras goes down, but we only have 41 health left for Jinx. She, of course, outspeeds, going for Ice Punch, and Baymax holds on with 2 hit points. Body Slam ends Jinx, and are we forever destined to end every battle in Red Bar? Let's check out Bruno, who we have a type disadvantage against. We lead off against Onix, and Surf would have been handy, especially when Brick Break is only doing maybe 2/3. Hitmonchan is out next, probably going for counter as we outspeed and hit Double Edge for the one-shot. We definitely do not outspeed Hitmonlee, and he hits a stab super effective Brick Break for pretty chunky damage. Double Edge takes care of Hitmonlee as well, but we're getting pretty close to a quarter health. Machamp is out next, surviving Double Edge and ending the battle with Stab's super effective Cross Chop. Bruno actually gets me quite a few times before I bit the bullet, deciding to tie into those rare candies. Now coming into the battle at level 65 with a decent knowledge of what to expect, let's see how things go. I'm still definitely skipping Belly Drum because I need all the health I can get in this battle. At level 65 though, Body Slam is now enough to take care of the Hitmons in a single shot, avoiding a huge amount of recoil. Machamp is out, but we're slower because of that Rock Tomb, and he goes for Bulk Up. Oh no! Him being faster and going for Bulk Up means the Double Edge no longer one-shots. Uh-oh, but then Machamp misses with Cross Chop and we take him out on the next turn. The last of the Onyxuses is out, and our Brick Break is not going to one-shot, so over 2 turns we take more damage, ending another battle in Red Bar. Talk about pushing the limits of a Pokemon. I haven't mentioned it, but I have been wearing the Quick Claw up to this point. Agatha really feels like the first battle that the Quick Claw has a real impact though. Potentially. Before the battle as well, I decided to teach Shadow Ball over Double Edge. After all, I had nothing that would hit ghosts on the previous moveset, and I felt like our love of Double Edge had to come to an end. Using both Belly Drum and Double Edge without reliable recovery is kinda nasty. Attempting Agatha without belly drumming, things are going relatively well until her ace Gengar hits the field. She puts us to sleep, and there we sit. And sit, and sit. Mr. Fuji, do you have a Poke Flute? Help! Nope, that's reset number 1 against Agatha. But at least that's all the resets we're gonna have here. In the next attempt, we do get put back to sleep, waking up fairly early this time, and ending the battle. Reviewing this footage, there seems to be one common theme in the battles that we're losing. Hopefully that's going to be a good thing while planning the second run. The hope being that 1 or 2 little tweaks is all we need. The Dragon Master is next. Belly drumming against the Dragon Master? What could possibly go wrong? Oh right, the fact that we're super slow and have no recovery. Gyarados falls, but we have 77 hit points left already, and Aerodactyl comes out, hitting a critical, taking us out. Oh, that was fast. In the next battle, I do the exact same thing, and Aerodactyl does not crit this time, so we're on to the Ace Dragonite, who outspeeds, hitting a Hyper Beam and ending the battle. In the next battle, I have my Quick Claw back on, and it activates against Aerodactyl, dodging that hit. But then it activates a second time against his Ace Dragonite, and he is out of here. I can't believe I'm about to say this too, but against his Dragonairs, I think we got a 3rd activation in a row. The first Dragonair falls, but then the second one comes out, outspeeding us and hitting Thunder Wave. Baymax, my man, you were here for business this time. We hit through the paralysis, ending the final Dragonair and the Elite Four. There's one final trainer in round 1, the champion. Bad news here, Pidgeot is naturally faster than us, so after setting up a Belly Drum and taking an Aerial Ace, I take a Sand Attack, and then the missing starts. I get a Quick Claw activation against Alakazam, adding a little bit of salt with that critical, so he's out of here. Brick Break deals with Rhydon. I think our Quick Claw activates again, and Gyarados is a one-shot as well. But then that luck turns against Arcanine as I miss Body Slam, and he takes us apart with 2 stab flamethrowers. And that's about as good as it gets for the next several attempts against the rival. I Belly Drum into Pidgeot's Feather Dance, and we get a Quick Claw activation on the next turn, so Pidgeot is out of here, no sand attacks this time. Alakazam of course outspeeds us, but only sets up a Reflect, so our +6 stab Body Slam still does more than enough to take him out. Yeah, that was a crit too, but I don't think it was necessary. Rhydon is out next, who we actually do outspeed, going for Brick Break, shattering the Reflect and taking him out in a single shot. Gyarados goes for Dragon Rage, okay, we're still above a 3rd, and Body Slam takes him out. Arcanine's Flamethrower deals about 50 damage, but he's out of here as well, that's just Venusaur left. Oh right, Venusaur, who can't hit us without taking 1 extra turn. Body Slam ends the battle and the round 1 league. Oh, holy moly. Alright, so one thing in round 1 that I was constantly complaining about was my lack of recovery. In round 2, I do get access to leftovers, so I'm definitely rubbing my hands together in anticipation of that. Baymax clocks in with a round 1 time of 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 33 seconds. So cool, at level 70 with 34 resets. This took 4 hours and 59 minutes of game time. There's actually one tiny bit of excitement that I get to talk about between the 2 leagues. I guess it's not all that exciting, but against the Rocket admin in the Rocket Warehouse, his Weezing decides on a whim to go for Explosion, which crits, and I get a reset here. Like I've said in the past, there are some resets that you can't do a thing to avoid. That's it though, we got the leftovers, we're ready for round 2, let's jump in. Leftovers is going to be incredibly useful for Snorlax. It's arguably his signature item. I'm hoping that it's going to provide all of the recovery that we were lacking in the first round. Lorelei for Baymax is incredibly easy in round 2. I set up Belly Drum and our Leftovers just heals us throughout the rest of the battle while I body slam, body slam, body slam. An argument could be made right now for teaching Return over Body Slam, but I mean, a one-shot's a one-shot's a one-shot. Lorelei stands no chance, and today we are going to be talking about Bruno No. Bruno No is actually not going to be too bad in this case. His lead Steelix goes for Iron Tail as I set up Belly Drum, but if he had gone for, say, Rock Tomb, this battle would have gone way differently. I outspeed and finish off Steelix 1 with super effective +6 Brick Break, and because I defeated him with a physical move, Hitmonchan is very likely to go for counter on this turn. That means that we kind of outspeed, going first for the one-shot. Machamp is out next, and Baymax does outspeed him, getting the one-shot. Hitmonlee definitely outspeeds us, going for Mega Kick, which misses, so I think this battle is over. I don't think from this level of health that even if he had crit, we would have lost. The final Steelix is out, and Brick Break sends him packing. Bruno is out of here. Oh, Agatha. Our low speed stat is the reason that I strayed away from Substitute in this first run. Plus, there are just some Pokemon where 4 moves just does not feel like enough. After a few turns against her lead Gengar, we finally wake up, hitting a super effective Shadow Ball for the one-shot, but we're already down to half health. I start body slamming my way through, not thinking that Belly Drum was gonna be worth it. Crobat falls in 2, then Arbok comes out intimidating us, but I have a critical strike for him. Her Ace Gengar is out next, going for Thunderbolt and getting the paralysis where Shadow Ball does not get the one-shot. Gengar continues the Thunderbolt onslaught, knocking Baymax down to 55 health, but we hit through the paralysis with Shadow Ball ending Gengar. Only Misdreavus is left, and let this final Pokemon be a testament to just how bulky Baymax is. With the Leftovers constantly healing us, it seems that Misdreavus just cannot do enough damage to take us out. Agatha heals, and after what feels like a whole bunch of turns, we are victorious. More battles ending in red bar, but you know what? We're still winning. Let's check out Lance. I stick with the same strategies, going for Belly Drum right away, and Gyarados starts setting up. Longtime viewers of the channel will know that this Gyarados is notorious for paralyzing you with Thunder Wave, but once again, I have to refer back to our low speed. The AI must be using that Thunder Wave as a speed control because Gyarados is not very inclined to use it against Baymax here. Despite my best efforts, the Belly Drum damage was just a little bit too much off the hop, and Lance's dragons are able to take us out, each hitting us 1 time. Before the next attempt, I say to heck with it and just use the rest of my rare candies, leveling up to 81. I go for the same strategy again, but because our speed stat is higher this time, Gyarados goes for Thunder Wave. I get a bunch of fully paralyzed turns against Kingdra, taking him out, and continue taking hit by hit, hoping that I'm not paralyzed and one-shotting things as I get the chance. His Ace Dragonite hits the field, we're paralyzed with 144 health. Outrage does around 50, and our +6 stab body slam ends the battle. And whoever said that Lance wasn't possible while you were paralyzed? Oh right, that was me, but like pre-Snorlax. Let's check out the champion. I lead off once again with the same strategy, going for Belly Drum, and Heracross goes for counter. That's awesome. +6 stab body slam takes him out. Alakazam is next, once again setting up a Reflect. That's cute as body slam takes him out. Then the ever notorious T-Tar hits the field, and I shatter the wall with 4 times super effective Brick Break, obliterating the Gen 2 Pseudo. Gyarados sets up, and +5 stab body slam deals with him. And then +4 stab body slam deals with Arcanine. Intimidate schmintimidate when you've got Belly Drum. Venusaur pulls up the rear, and 1 final body slam ends the battle. This champion, and on that note, this second league pretty much melted before us. I feel that really goes to show the power of an item like Leftovers on Snorlax. Baymax clocks in with a round 2 time of 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 35 seconds at level 82 with 37 resets. This took 5 hours and 58 minutes of game time. Alright, let's jump right into that second playthrough. Most of the time my process is that I play the first run, edit it, and then go after the second playthrough. With any of the sticky spots that I encounter while I edit, I write down where they were, what I did, and just general notes, testing it if I feel the need. Generally speaking, the solution presents itself to me during editing. Not with Snorlax. I had to, I guess, chew the fat for a couple of days. This is what I've come up with. As you can see, I have kept Snorlax set up exactly the same, with an impish nature, immunity as our ability, and double edge as our egg move. The only difference in the early game section is that I will be defeating every single wild encounter that I come across. Last playthrough I ran from them all, but I figured that I needed a little bit more experience for Brock. I entered the battle with Brock at level 11 this time, and I feel that the extra stats really helped. I have an awful time with Geodude compared to the last run, and he scores a critical before taking him out. Fortunately, luck shines back in our favor, and Double Edge crits Onix on the first turn. We end up way down in red bar once again, but being level 11 made this battle much more consistent. In Mount Moon, I am of course grabbing the Helix fossil, praise Lord Helix, and progress into Cerulean just like last time facing Misty. I get a touch unlucky against Staryu, so by the time Starmie comes out, I've taken a little bit more damage than would have been optimal. As a result, we do take out Starmie, but the recoil damage takes me out as well. In the next battle, I face down Starmie with much better health. Starmie hits Water Pulse, confusing us, triggering the Persim Berry while I hit Double Edge for well over half. Then Starmie hits another Water Pulse and confuses me a second time, and I hit myself in confusion, and that's a second reset. In the third attempt, I make it to Starmie with terrible health, and this is why you play through the attempt. Double Edge crits and Starmie goes away. We end the battle with 4 hit points. Ooh, the price I'm trying to pay for speed. Rival 2 gets absolutely obliterated, and the only other change that I made in this section is making sure to have more healing items. Rival 3 on the SSN gets a touch hairy, but we can blame that on Sand Attack and Sleep. Thankfully, our big bulky teddy bear could take a few turns of extra abuse. I crush Lieutenant Surge. A major change in the next section is that I will not be teaching Brick Break, instead keeping Water Pulse despite the minus special attack nature. The things that I need water coverage for pretty much just faint no matter what. But beyond that, it's exactly the same route as last time, clearing out the Rocket Hideout and going after Erica next. Another change to emphasize is that I will be targeting different EVs this time. In this run, I'm going to be much less focused on my speed, and as such, even more Pokemon are going to outspeed us, like Erica's Victory Bell. This will open us up to a little bit more risk, but I feel that prioritizing attack, defense, and then HP is going to be the way to go. Let's lean into that wall side. Nothing else changes about Erica, she is out of here. Rival 4 in Pokemon Tower is the next to fall, once again super easily. You have to appreciate the final easy rival battle. Also, just taking a moment to pat myself on the back for having a move that hits Ghost this time. Let's progress up the tower. Next is Silph Co, where I am going to be doing a full item collection because, like I said, I want to dial in my EVs. There's a lot of valuable items in here, most of which are actually vitamins. This is when the smarter routing definitely kicks in. After gathering all of the items in Silph, I head to the department store to optimize our vitamins. I sell and buy what I need and then start grinding down Cycling Road. In the second playthrough, I am aware of how much grinding I need, so I'm getting it done right now. Well, most of it. I once again grab the Quick Claw and Surf from the Safari Zone, then doing more training in Koga's gym. On top of great experience, it's more defense and more attack EVs. The extra training before Koga makes him much easier, bye-bye muck in one shot. And even though we don't one-shot his Ace Wheezing, this is still a really easy battle. It's always fun when I get to work gym leaders into my EV training because more defense and HP from Muck. From there, it's off to the Fighting Dojo for even more training, and I surf down towards Cinnabar doing even more training. There are a select few trainers along the route that I'm targeting, going once again for more attack and more defense EVs. And I do just the tiniest bit of training in Blaine's gym just to get up to level 48 before taking on the man himself. In the first attempt, Ponyta, who outspeeds us, lands a Fire Blast, also getting the burn. Lame, but it's good that I was going for Surf here. As the battle wears on, that burn damage is just too much. I make it back to Arcanine in the next attempt when he gets a burn this time. That's gonna be our 4th reset of the run, and I am just not having it in this battle. In the 3rd attempt, Rapidash lands a critical Fire Blast. One strategy change to mention this time is that I am using Surf against Arcanine because at level 48, again, despite the minus special attack nature, we can 2-shot. Arcanine hits through, taking us down to 19 hit points, and Surf gets the critical. You know, the plan with this second playthrough was not to end every single battle in Red Bar, but we're still winning. Let's keep going. After clearing out the Sevi Islands, it's time to go back and defeat Rival 5 and Silph. The first attempt goes pretty okay when I miss a range against Venusaur and get taken out after sleeping for way too many turns. I could blame the RNG on this one, but some egghead forgot to stick on his Chesto Berry like the note said. And wouldn't you know it, the next attempt with a Chesto Berry goes like clockwork. Sabrina falls easily, and then it's off to Giovanni's gym to do even more training. I actually kind of tripped myself up this time and encountered the Karate King from the south end. I never do this because it's slower to do it this way. I mean, marginally. The completion of the Giovanni looks scarier than it actually is, but yeah, we're back in Red Bar. We complete the gym challenge this time in 1 hour and 2 minutes. This puts us just over a minute faster than last playthrough, but almost 2 levels higher. Then against Rival 6, things get once again incredibly hairy, but it seems we're out of range for Venusaur, so he goes for Growth, and I go for Body Slam. That ends the last challenge before the leagues, but I have just a little bit of prep work to do before jumping in. I fly back to the move deleter in Fuchsia in order to get rid of Surf. It covered us incredibly well throughout the gym challenge, but I just don't need it anymore. I'm going to be filling that move slot back in with Rest, but it's important to note that I am not using TM44. That gets saved for later. I use Tiny Mushrooms from the move relearner on 2 Island. With that, we're ready to jump in to the Round 1 League. One of the biggest problems that I felt I had in the first league was my lack of recovery, and hey, I'm a Snorlax. What is Snorlax good at doing? With Rest on our side, as well as the additional defense and HP EVs that I got throughout the playthrough, I'm hoping that the wall of Snorlax is slightly less breakable? I belly drum right away against Dugong, taking it out, and then against the super stally Cloyster, I want to use Rest. I do have a Chesto Berry equipped, so it wakes us up immediately, although I wish I could be selective about when the Chesto trips. I would have happily stayed here against Cloyster sleeping for a few turns if it meant keeping that Chesto Berry for, say, Jinx. Ah well, it's not a big deal. If things get hairy, we can just rest back out of it, right? And we don't even come close to needing it, finishing the battle at half health. This levels me up to 59, setting us up for Bruno. Before jumping into the battle, I use 9 rare candies, leveling up to level 68. It's always risky using this many rare candies this early, but trust me, I'm a professional. Let me know in the comments how many of you believe that I said that with a straight face. I also taught Earthquake over Double Edge because Earthquake is able to one-shot Onix at level 68, where Brick Break was still not able to. Because I knocked out Onix with a physical move, Hitmonchan is going for counter, he's out of here with a single Body Slam. Then Hitmonlee is able to tag us with a stab super effective Brick Break, which does maybe a little under a third. That leaves us with all the health we need for Machamp's Cross Chop, which he misses in this battle. You win some, you lose some, eh buddy? The final Onix is out and Earthquake takes him down. Bruno is done. I did not mention a hidden power typing last run because I really didn't feel it was necessary. In this run, with the money invested in our vitamins, I decided that HP Ghost was the way to go. I taught it just before the battle, as well as equipping a Lumberry just in case Agatha gets cheeky. I actually discovered that belly drumming against Golbat was the way to go here. Since I am very vulnerable to Confuse Rays and Hypnosis, getting one-shots in the latter half of the battle is so important. I resto Lum-O to get myself out of that situation, and then it's time to start sweeping. At +6, as long as we aren't put to sleep and stay asleep for too many turns, this battle is ours. We end the battle leveling up to 69. Nice, and let's go check out Lance. Once again relying on the recovery of Rest, I belly drum against Gyarados and heal myself all the way up to full health. We can then just sit back and relax, absolutely crushing Lance's entire team with +6 stab body slams. I do switch to Brick Break for Aerodactyl, although resisted body slam probably still would have knocked out. Yeah, that's all I got for Lance. Let's check out that champion battle. Despite the risk of a sand attack, I felt that going for Belly Drum against Bird Brains right away was the way to go. We get tagged by a couple of aerial aces, so that is a-okay. Bye-bye, Bird Brains. Alakazam is out next, and I'm actually going to use this opportunity to sleep. Alakazam, unless he gets really lucky with special defense drops, cannot effectively take us down in the amount of turns that I need here. He ends up getting a special defense drop, which does open up some risk, but I wake up and no more Alakazam. Rhydon falls to Brick Break, leveling us up to 70 over the next damage rounding threshold, but at +6, I'm not too worried about those thresholds. Gyarados at +5? Out of here. Arcanine at +4? Out of here. And if this was round 2 Venusaur, we'd be in trouble, but his only attacking move is Solar Beam, so he takes a turn to charge, and this battle is over. Red bar again, but Snorlax has done it. As an interesting bit of speed tech, did you know that being in red bar actually saves time? The emergency, danger sound effects actually cancel out other sound effects, which results in time saves at the end of battle. Again, these are marginal, but hey, every second counts. Snorlax clocks in with a round 1 time of 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 58 seconds at level 70 with 5 resets. This took 4 hours and 32 minutes of game time. Between the leagues, I also want to point out that there is definitely a human factor to my runs. The RNG of the game makes most runs feel unique, but the RNG in my brain definitely adds to that. I can be as optimal as I want, shaving seconds off of battles with red bar music, and then go to the wrong warp pad and it's all gone. I feel it's really comparable to sports, where athletes can train for years and years and years, but if they slip up on the day, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Just like last time, I pick up Shadow Ball, and we are ready for the Round 2 League. Oh, but did I forget to mention? That's right, you see it on the moveset down there, I also picked up Substitute. Substrats, best strats. Lorelei's Dugong in round 2 loves double teaming, and so there is a little bit of risk setting up against her. In this battle, I feel like I do miss a bunch of times, but eventually I do connect with Stab Return now, not Body Slam, for the one-shot. I also felt like getting a decoy established here was the way to go. I one-shot my way through her team all the way to Jinx, who the decoy was for. She outspeeds, going for Lovely Kiss, and the decoy doesn't care. +6 stab body slam makes Jinx go away, bringing out Lapras. Right, return, not body slam. I'm running return now. Lapras's Surf finally breaks our decoy, while return breaks Lapras. Bruno is next. Bruno was actually the deciding factor behind picking up Substitute. And even more funny, it's for the reason I normally pick up Substitute, to guard our speed, our abysmal speed. I outspeed Steelix, setting up one immediately and blocking a Rock Tomb. I Belly Drum and Leftovers continues to heal while Steelix cannot break the decoy still. Time to go on the offense, +6 super effective Brick Break deals with Steelix 1. Just like in round 1, Hitmonchan saw the physical move, so he's going for counter, and I go for the one-shot. I wanted to guard my speed for Machamp. At -1 speed, we do not outspeed Machamp, and that is not a battle we can win. Trust me, I tried. Our decoy blocks the cross chop as Return takes down his ace. Hitmonlee is the last one that outspeeds us, going for Mega Kick, which kind of just bounces off of our gigantic tummy, and one final Brick Break brings down Steelix. Not bad, right? Let's check out what the Trolley Agatha has in store for us. Agatha, as usual, has the potential to be the least consistent battle in this league. The reason is simply our speed. I did want to keep the leftovers on in this battle, not going for a berry choice, so whatever Gengar does to us, we just kind of have to live with. We get put to sleep, but once we wake up, I get a decoy established and then Belly Drum. We're at super low health, and Gengar was feeling very antsy today, going for a ton of Psychics, but we're through that one. Because Gengar added some damage to our decoy, it breaks against Crobat, which is terrible. I try getting a new one up, and it just isn't working. Then trying to set up one against Arbok, but he knocks me down just low enough that I can't get the decoy off. This was a battle where I got put on my back foot early and just couldn't quite recover. That's gonna be reset number 6. In the next battle, I still have my decoy up as we defeat Crobat, and that is what the plan was. Unfortunately, I didn't quite hit the threshold of attack EVs that I was looking for, so we are going to be leaving her Ace Gengar at a sliver. All in all, that doesn't impact the battle too much though. Gengar does faint, and then the Misdreavus in the back also gets one shot. This was probably our shakiest fight in the league, and it was still better than last time, I feel. This is why earlier I mentioned not using TM44 to teach Rest. I use it to replace Substitute before engaging Lance, also replacing Shadow Ball with Brick Break. You just gotta love that you can buy all of the Brick Break TMs from the mart. It makes chopping and changing physical sets so much easier. I go for Belly Drum against Gyarados, maxing our attack, while he goes for DD because our speed is too low for him to care to try and paralyze us. I want to get my recovery against Kingdra if it's necessary, because Kingdra's kinda dumb. He'll set up a bunch of Dragon Dances, stacking his attack stat, and then he'll go for like Surf or Ice Beam. Definitely the easiest one to recover against for Snorlax. Once we wake up, it's an absolute slaughter. Nobody can hold a candle against our onslaught. With that, the Elite Four is cleared, leaving one final challenge, the Round 2 champion. So, despite how easily this champion seemed to melt before us in the first run, this battle took some work. Before the battle, I used 5 rare candies, 13 in total from the region and 1 from the army of Meowths, reducing a touch of grinding to get to level 80. I feel that level 80 was the minimum requirement. This battle was possible at 78, but it was so inconsistent. Against Heracross, I chip with a resisted Brick Break because Stab Return is not quite enough for the one-shot. That way when Heracross goes for counter, which he usually does against Snorlax on the first turn, I take minimal damage. I can take out Heracross on the next turn, followed by Alakazam with a single Stab Return. Big Bad T-Tar then comes out, landing a critical with Earthquake. I can take him out on the next turn, but that little bit of extra damage might have just cost me the battle. Gyarados is out next, setting up a single DD, while Return misses the one-shot, and then he hits us with a massive Earthquake, so we only have 100 health for the rest of this battle. Arcanine is out, and I'm able to stall his Overheat as long as I survive, and we don't. In the next battle, I revert to the Belly Drum strats, and Tyranitar crits a second time, and that's another reset. My initial strategy without Belly Drum was fairly consistent in testing, but I was getting frustrated. So I reverted to the Belly Drum strats, and here we are in attempt 3. This time, set up to +6, our 4-time super effective Brick Break deletes Tyranitar, especially including the crit. It's nice to know that my Pokemon get as salty as I do sometimes. We're a bit more battered though coming into Gyarados, but I am not going to take 2 turns to knock him out this time. He once again goes for Dragon Dance, while +5 Stab Return takes him out. And I want you to check out this range with Overheat. In the first wipe, I had 100 hit points remaining, and this time Arcanine's Overheat deals 98. It seems that in that first battle, if Tyranitar hadn't crit, or Arcanine had rolled lower, we would have survived. No worries here though, although I feel that I should have rested for a little bit of extra security against Venusaur. With his ace out after recovering from leftovers, we have 73 health, still in red bar. Venusaur goes for Sunny Day. Oh my gosh, that was close. If we'd been just a few hit points lower, I think we would have been in Earthquake range and we would have lost here. But not today, Venusaur is out of here, and with him, the champion. Holy guacamole, I just have to say that Snorlax was tough. It's so funny to me how sometimes the strongest Pokemon are the most difficult to rout. Snorlax clocks in with a round 2 time of 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 42 seconds at level 80 with 8 resets. This took 5 hours and 28 minutes of game time. Let's take a quick look at how our 2 runs stack up against each other. In the second playthrough, I actually lose a bunch of time throughout most of the playthrough. I feel this is definitely because I took a little bit more of a conservative approach, doing a little bit more grinding along the way. I feel like we got pretty lucky in a lot of spots in that first playthrough, so a little bit of extra insurance was definitely worth it. We actually see a massive fluctuation around the Koga time, spiking 4.5 minutes behind. This is, though, with significantly more grinding under our belt. We then gain 3 minutes and 30 seconds defeating Blaine ahead of Sabrina this time, but then by the end of the gym challenge it all evens out and we've saved just under 2 minutes. That all added up to nearly a 20-minute time save in round 1, and much to my dismay, we lost a bit of that lead in round 2. I am blaming this entirely on Tyranitar's crits. But all in, we saved 17 minutes and 53 seconds, 2 levels lower with 29 less resets. Also 30 minutes less game time. On the tier list, this places Snorlax just behind Scyther, finishing only 3 seconds slower. It's really cool to see the lightning-fast Scyther just barely outpace the sluggish Snorlax. Well done. I want to extend a special thank you to all of those generous enough to support the channel through YouTube memberships, Patreon, and Super Chat. Your generosity makes this content possible for everyone out there to enjoy. From the bottom of my shell, thank you so much. And thank you for making it to the end of the video. Watching all the way till the end and your engagement help my channel so much, so if you feel like I've earned it, consider leaving a like and comment about the run, what you'd like to see in the future, or just to say hi. Hey there! If you'd like to keep up with my future releases, be sure to subscribe and enable notifications to never miss a video. I always have plans rattling around up here, so stay tuned for those. Until next time, take care everyone.